Never before in all our history have these forces been so united against one candidate as they stand today. They are unanimous in their hate for me, and I welcome their hatred.
The needs of working families and the middle class, not just the billionaire class. We know what's going on. We are paying attention.
Good morning, everybody. How you doing? Oh, there. Let's cut over to that. I had to show that, too. We had to get the dick out of the way. Because we have people watching this show, and I promised that I would be most professional, and Laura's laughing totally because, actually, that was a mistake. That wasn't even supposed to go through. I forgot to turn off the auto scroll through the media pieces.
Fuck you!
That's the next one. So, there we go. It'll run through a bunch of those, but before we get into everything else, I know we would normally start regularly, so I'm just going to start this way. Is it Ariel, Laura? Adriel, my bad. Hi, Adriel. My name's John Ellis. That's not really how we'd begin with the candidate. That's just move past this part. Pretend that didn't happen. We won't have any F-bombs, and now we're going to get into what would look like a more professional setting. There we go.
Yeah, you covered that nicely.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. This is how it normally goes. Good morning, everybody. We have a clown in office. Good morning, Paula and John Warren and Jupiter and Melissa H. and Kat and Phil Britton and who else is in here? We got Metalhead. Laura Livengood is with me right here in the studio. We'll bring her on camera in a minute. And I see you guys are talking a lot about, is it Alfrey? How you doing? Alfrey Walski? You keep changing your first name on me and freaking me out. I'm like, who is this guy? Barbara, how you doing, Barbara? Who was it? Was it Bev was having problems with chat yesterday? Ever get those figured out? I was seeing numbers in chat. She can't even access chat. We had some weird things going on with you two. Were you in the chat yesterday, Laura?
No, I wasn't. I was working.
You were busy?
Yes.
Paying bills for the revolution?
I was busy on a huge issues jump with a vulnerability in Intel chips that one of my clients wanted to talk a lot about. So
Exciting.
I was busy getting in briefings with press who could answer anything.
Oh, this thing's got to stop. There. Here, we gotta turn off media too. It's just. It was going to start another one. That was the old intro to the old show, actually.
Oh, yeah.
Chris Ferguson's here. Marco Telez is here. Trisha Yeager.
Hey.
Eco Suture. Luis, how you doing? Good morning, Lynn.
Wow, 44 watching already.
Yeah, Jupiter Judy. Got a lot of people. So, just for those of you who are new, because we are growing our audience, and that's, either whether you were a part of the BTV channel before or you're new, just showing up, just found this thing, welcome. This is a conversation. Laura and I are not going to sit here and preach and talk. I'm always looking at the comments. She's always in the comments as a moderator. We've got Chris Ferguson in there. We've got Great Wrenches, Jupiter Judy, Chris Ferguson. The idea is to have a conversation with you. And we can do that in real time. And we've got a lot of other things that we can do to up the game on that conversation. And we'll talk about that more, other shows. But we've got, that's what this is. This isn't designed as a news program like any of the indie channels where they just blah 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 and don't pay attention to you. I stop in the middle of a sentence and pay attention to you, which makes the show
Shiny objects.
Yes.
Chat is a big shiny object.
Thank you. Yes. So it can be distracting for other people, but for those of us in the live show, it's great. No, just kidding. Anyway, we've got a lot of stuff to talk about. The card today is from Benny Diego. Really appreciate that, and he posted that on Twitter. It's beautiful. Here, let's load you up the main picture here. Without elect a clown, and the circus will follow. Trump care is clown care. This is I just, whoever did the artwork, phenomenal. Phenomenal artwork for the revolution. You know, it's, you got to say Laura, the creativeness of the revolutionaries has been outstanding.
Oh, yes. Oh, we rule in that area. We know the internet, and we can use it really well.
Yes, yes. Nice ADHD mornings with John. Thanks, Benny Diego. That's wonderful. You had lots of buffering yesterday since Melissa H. Yeah, there was. Comcast started jerking us around towards the end there. Right now, we're streaming fairly decent. I'm still not getting the bandwidth I actually pay for. It's interesting. You know, it'd be nice if that would happen. That's an improvement with Bannon. Lives. Oh my gosh, Melissa H. is right. That actually improves Bannon's face. He's just such a scary
Christie's
guy.
too.
Yeah, really. It's more realistic.
Yeah.
All right, so no more hating on people. We only get to do that when it's justified. I hadn't prepared to justify that yet, so.
Yeah.
Now let me hang on, I gotta switch over here, Laura. Not there, here. Now, next thing we're gonna talk about is this. Monday. I'm hosting. I'm hoping everybody else can join me. I don't know if Laura's going to be here. Are you going to be able to join us for this? You're working.
What time is it?
It's 3 in the afternoon.
Yeah, right on.
Yeah.
No way.
So Jimmy Carter and Bernie Sanders, two of my favorite old people, are going to be getting together. Because boy, is Jimmy looking old. I love him. He's like this. I got my style from Jimmy Carter, all right, and Mr. Rogers. But, you know, seriously, two of my heroes. And this. So anyway, those two guys are going to be talking human rights at the Carter Center Monday, the 8th, 3 p.m. Pacific. We're going to restream the stream that's going from the Carter Center to Facebook. We're not like, I'm not connected with the Carter Center. We're not coordinating with them at all. It's just, I know they're streaming to Facebook, and so we're going to stream it to YouTube because they can't. So, you know, that's how it goes. Join us for that or watch it on Facebook. But it's Bernie, it's Jimmy. Why wouldn't you want to watch it? Two sane people who actually care about other people. It's a rare thing going on today. It's a very rare thing. Yeah. Melissa says she can't wait. Yes. Paula says it's okay. He looks that old. I think he's awesome. Oh, no, I'm not complaining. I'm just saying, man, Jimmy, you know, I'm glad he's still here. It will be a fantastic discussion. Kat, there's nothing wrong with Mr. Rogers. Nothing wrong with this. Have you seen, if you guys have not seen his PBS speech, that, I don't know who clued me into that whiles ago. Was it you, Laura? I don't know who it was. One of the most amazing. Do you remember that?
Is he talking about supporting PBS, or the one he's talking about what to do when bad things happen?
No, when he's talking about supporting PBS to that, whoever that guy is in government, and they do that congressional thing. Have you seen that?
I probably.
Oh, it's so good. I'll have to find it. We'll run it. It showed up when everybody was, when PBS was getting its funds cut by 45. And I'll find it. We'll run it. It's a beautiful, beautiful clip.
I'll find it.
Yeah.
I'll find it and drop it in.
James Hancock says Macron. We're talking. Oh yeah, because the French. I got a clip to play today that Katie already told us about this. Remember Katie? She's the woman who's reporting for us in France/Germany/Ireland because she's in all this place. She's an Irish immigrant living in. Where is she living? Shit. I think she's living in
Luxembourg and France. But
there you go.
She's talking about staying more time in Luxembourg after this election if she needs to.
Right. So she's going to join us Tuesday morning for Awake with John and Markus. Markus was not able to join us today. He got invited somewhere. He's off doing something. I don't know what he's doing.
Markus probably has a girlfriend.
No, I remember. He has to do work, like actual real work, because his boss is off doing work elsewhere. And so they've got a lot of work. That's really the truth. He's not just off partying Germans, So
he needs a day off.
Katie is awesome. Love her coverage. Yeah, she does a really good job with great perspectives. And she told us that towns, that outlying towns, the rural areas, the small towns in France were going hard right. Kind of like a lot that's happening in the United States, which is very scary. Very scary. Is Adriel in chat?
Yes, Adriel just came in. So Adriel is the consultant who's working with Stephen Jaffe, who is the congressional candidate who just announced that he's going to be running against Nancy Pelosi. So we already love him a lot.
Yes, we do.
just for that. And he's a total Bernie-crat. He's in San Francisco, and he's kicking some ass and already starting his grassroots campaign. So we are really looking forward to talking to him a little bit later this month on the resurrection of We the People.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are. You froze
planning
beautifully,
it
Laura.
for May 17th in the evening, Wednesday evening. So everybody be really nice to Adriel in chat. Thank you. And because we want him to like us.
Thank you. Yeah. Sorry, you're froze on the most beautiful smile. I don't know what happened to your hangout, but you've been froze for that whole time. It was beautiful. So anyway, CA12. Thank you, Adriel. So I think, this is Hangouts. This is perfect, too. So I think we just lost Laura Livengood on the Hangout, which tends to happen with the internet. Hopefully.
I'll drop out and come back in.
Thank you. This is part of the production environment. This is going really well today, guys, for an example of how the show happens.
So impressive.
This is perfect. All right. We're going to move on into topics until Laura Livengood can come back with us. It looks like internet over there is not happening today. Internet here from Comcast, fairly solid. From the garage in Albany, Oregon. But let's move on to things. So yeah, we've got actually in the description of this event on YouTube, all the links to everything I talk about, every show. And we have a link to Stephen Jaffe right here. So click on that. It's to his Facebook page. Go there. Looking forward to interviewing him on Wednesday. What is it, the 16th? 17th, right? It's when we did Chad Talks with, but we're gonna turn around. We're gonna do We the People. I'm gonna take over. Chad's not gonna be able to do that show for a while. He's got some things to deal with up in Washington, and so I'm gonna, you know, we're gonna bring it back. I'm excited about this. I'm looking forward to asking some questions. We're gonna bring out use what we did back when Janine. Was helping us when Senator Janine Calkin was part of Bernie 2016 TV, and we were doing forms. We used Google Forms. We would send it out to you, get your questions. So look for a questionnaire coming out from us. It'll be on Twitter at Bernie 2016 TV, hashtag Awake with John, and hashtag We the People. We'll push that out. It's going to be a Google form. Get your guys' questions, your thoughts, what you would like to ask Stephen when we bring him on, and yeah, we'll have a conversation. Join us for that. Excited about that. Thank you for dropping that in there, Laura. Appreciate that. Wherever you go, there you are. Buckaroo Bonsai. Thank you, Phil. That's very nice. Yes, we will. The 17th. Thank you. I don't have the calendar in front of me. All right. If Markus were here, and we're going to talk about this on Tuesday, but if Markus were here, he would be asking us, he would be laughing. This is... you guys see the Der Spiegel interview with John Podesta? That's one of our top pieces. Make sure I covered everything. Events, We the People returns, Bernie and Jimmy on Monday, top stories, Der Spiegel interview with John Podesta. This is pretty hilarious. I've got cards. I actually built additional slides for this just to show you the quotes. If you had any doubt about the corruption of the DNC, remember, the DNC is a private party. That doesn't mean it can't be changed. That just means it's a private party that really doesn't have to do anything we think it has to do. It can make decisions in back rooms, drinking and smoking cigars. That's exactly. Hey, 71. Thank you for joining us, everybody. Hey, Muhammad, Bev, Jimmy Sinclair, James Hancock. So this is Der Spiegel is the big German magazine. You guys know Der Spiegel? That's the one Markus sends me. Seen the two covers? This is the first one. I'd never heard of Der Spiegel until Markus showed me this cover, and this was going around on the internet. They were the first ones to do this. All right, Trump cutting off the head of the Statue of Liberty, which at the time seemed pretty shocking. Today seems pretty accurate. Very, very accurate. Right? And then here was cover 2. All right, which basically says the double agent, how much Putin is in Trump. Right? Who knows? They're all just corrupt. But 2 Der Spiegel covers I'm surprised I haven't been arrested for those yet, right? They arrested a Code Pink activist for laughing at little boy Jeff Sessions, so I'm really surprised they haven't arrested me for having these. This should be, propaganda against the state at this point. But good morning. Hey, Steve Collins. The German city of Hanover is set to evacuate 50,000 people, around a tenth of its population, amid all-out preparations to defuse several World War II-era bombs that were dropped by Allies. Interesting. It's interesting that that's going on there. Let's look at what Podesta had to say. Here's... I'm going to read this to you guys. In an interview 6 months after the election, Hillary Clinton's campaign chairman John Podesta discussed the night of his candidate's defeat, the mistakes made on the trail, and Donald Trump, who he says is unfit and unqualified to serve as president. John Podesta basically... I can't even explain. Just here, Der Spiegel. And I copied some things from the middle of the interview here, guys. You make it sound as though lots of people were responsible for Clinton's defeat. The director of the FBI, the Russians, and just not you. Hillary Clinton said similar things a few days ago in an interview with CNN. What mistakes did you make? Right? Podesta, no question, we made mistakes. We probably under-resourced Wisconsin. That's his first one on the list. We under-resourced Wisconsin. We were confident we would win there. We had a fairly full field team there. So there's like a paragraph on Wisconsin in this answer. Trump had no presence in the state, so we thought we didn't need any. But the National Rifle Association, the entire paragraph is about one mistake, Wisconsin. For some reason, John Podesta thinks had they fixed Wisconsin, Hillary would have won. Unbelievable. Spiegel, that can't be the only mistake. Like, seriously? Right? Come on. Podesta, we were unable to get out of the loop that Trump created and that the media created of outrageous statement reaction, new outrageous statement counter-reaction. That left an opening for a lot of people to think that this conversation wasn't really about them. And the media was thankful for TV reality candidate. Most of the media turned into accomplices of Donald Trump. This is Podesta's perspective on why Hillary Clinton lost. There is not a single mention of Hillary Clinton's responsibility in this. The reason I'm pointing this out is just, one, it's pathetic. Two, it shows you the complete alter reality that these people live in. Why we, who share a common reality, even though we each have a very unique individual perspective, we share a common reality that is laden with common sense and logic and moral and ethical understanding that we all need to live together in some kind of civilization. These folks don't have that. They don't. And they don't really care if their version of reality even intersects at all with our version of reality, which is why we have to replace them. We have to remove them and we have to replace them. And we are doing that. All right? They do live in a bubble. It's pretty scary. Here, we're going to go on to the next. This is even better. Spiegel. There was another surprising successful Democratic Party contender, 75-year-old Bernie Sanders. Did he have a chance of winning the election? Podesta. This is going to really make you mad. Knowing what we know from WikiLeaks, knowing what the emails said, knowing that they just said we can definitely do whatever the fuck we want. We're a private party. And if we want to rig the election, we can. If we want to choose the candidate, we can. You don't get to say anything about it. Right? I think we got Laura back. There she is.
Can you hear me now?
We can.
I've been back, I've been back, and I've been talking and saying all kinds of interesting things, and you haven't been able to hear me.
No, actually, you just logged back into the Hangout.
Oh, okay.
It just came back into me, so there was something going on.
I've been listening to you in the Hangout.
Well, wonderful, wonderful. So we're talking about how pathetic. I haven't read this paragraph. It's really going to piss a lot of people off. Eco Sutra, the DNC is a private company. We need a new Dem Party convention. Well, none of those things happen unless you join your local Democratic Party and choose to be directly involved in all of that. And I am witness to that. I was at a meeting last night, and I voted on shit. I made decisions as a PCP, and it was powerful, and it was cool. and it was interesting. So yes, you absolutely have to do this. Hey, Joyce Sanders. Joyce Sanders. Clinton never had a message. She never had it in 2008. Yes, agreed. So, more on this. Podesta's answer. We took Bernie seriously. There was a theory. There's the theory that he could have gotten some of these angry... This I'm just going to piss you off so much. It's going to make you so mad. The theory that you could have gotten some of these angry white working class voters that went to Trump that Clinton couldn't get. That's what they thought Bernie could have gotten. The angry white voter. All right? Particularly the Obama-Trump voters. That's true. He probably could have gotten a few of them, but not enough. We talked to him early on. We wanted him to be a part of our campaign. After the New York primary, which was in mid-April, after Super Tuesday, which was in mid-March, it was clear that he couldn't catch us. Because you fucking cheated, you piece of shit. You
and
lied.
was counting the superdelegates.
You lied. You suppressed the vote. You bought off your Oh my God, you know? It's like, you know, Bernie just didn't have what we had in terms of lying and cheating and stealing and being pieces of shit. And so he lost. Couldn't catch us.
He's forgetting that we've read his emails and we know exactly what happened.
Thank you. That's the other thing. It's not like we don't know exactly what they did and how they did it. And remember, folks, nobody on the Clinton team has ever denied that those aren't their emails. They can't.
No.
Can't. Nobody's ever denied. Ranting and John not using what? What does Melissa H say?
Can John not use an F-bomb? I don't know. Did you do an F-bomb? I
did one.
Okay.
Is that bad? Are we bad? Did we scare everybody away?
No.
My gosh, I'm trying so hard to be good today. I really am.
We have a disclaimer at the beginning of the video now.
That's
this
why I made it.
R-rated with occasional F-bombs. So we are covered. Our butts are covered.
NEF just dropped it. I don't have anybody here that can hit the beep thing. You guys, you guys realize, Markus talked about this. We'll just talk about the F-bomb for a second. You realize in every other country around the world, for the most part, except for some really conservative, weird ones, F-bombs, nobody gives a shit. In Germany, if I were doing this in Germany with Markus, I could say, fuck, all I wanted. And German people be like, that's a show. That's only in America, only in repressed facade of political correctness, goody, Christian bullshitness. Only in America do we place these weird restrictions on things like sexual activity and bad words and have an FCC that isn't bound to really look into things unless somebody requests. We're going to talk about that too because we've got fascism on the rise. It's pretty scary when the FCC is going to invest Stephen Colbert for insulting Trump. That's called political satire, and it's perfectly 100% legal and First Amendment rights, but the FCC is apparently investigating that. That's pretty scary shit. Parado, give a shit? No, about. Melissa says because he said he wouldn't be using it today. Yeah, this show kind of started off and crashed and burned immediately, so I'm just giving up on that. Here.
Oh, Adriel is fitting right in.
Okay, so Adriel hasn't run away.
Nope, he's saying fuck himself.
Okay, that's. Let me just, since we have Adriel in the conversation, let me just say this. I mean, obviously this show, Awake with John and Laura and Markus, is a loose conversation. I have done better productions, and they're all on record on the other channels, and I can clean myself and be all pretty and stuff, and we will have a nice professional conversation when we do We the People, right? The whole purpose, though, is to not be the plastic Ken doll, Barbie doll, bobblehead, MSM, full of shit, vapid gas bag. Right? In order to do that, I got to be who I am. I'm not going to ever put on a suit and tie. I'm not ever going to wear the clothes of a liar. In my perspective, right? And that's what this is. It's perspective-based conversation. And the value in that is the honesty, the transparency that is actually obvious and apparent in the conversation we have live, and that lends so much integrity to that conversation with the audience. And the engagement that we have back and forth is what makes it really powerful. And I'm hoping that we can find some compromise between really polished professional production work, which I believe in. I believe it's necessary to keep an audience there, to keep an audience engaged. You need that production level, right? And authentic, transparent, raw, human, not prescripted, polished politician verbiage, right? I'm trying to make that happen. Right? There, that was long and eloquent stuff. How's that?
It's lovely.
Thank you. You like my shorter haircut? I have to go get a hair. I told Laura Livengood I was going to go get a haircut.
That's what I said. I said I didn't agree, and I'm asking for their thoughts on this important topic.
I'm not gonna go into the rest of the Spiegel thing. You guys read it yourself. It really pisses me off. He basically says that Bernie could only have gotten a few things, couldn't catch up with them. Spiegel says, apart from all these things, was Hillary Clinton the right candidate? And then John Podesta basically vomits on himself to say, yes, of course. She knows everything. She's wonderful. She did nothing wrong. Everything's great. Why would you even think that? Spiegel, she was strong in 2008, but Obama was even stronger. But in 2016, she proved less capable of engaging people. Do you really never have doubts about whether she was the right candidate? Podesta, no. Otherwise, I would not have become the chairman of her campaign. That's blind. I don't even know what that is. That's a corporate man right there. Yeah. That's a corporate man right there. He's
sticking to his script. He's not, if anybody thinks he's speaking from his heart or telling the truth, just think again.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Not really happening. There's a lot more in that interview, everybody. So if you want to check that out, and we really thank Der Spiegel, the German newspaper, for actually asking really good questions. And I'm sorry, you guys are probably having a hard time not laughing in the middle of that interview.
Yeah.
It's like, was ist los, Americans, so stupid. Where's Markus when I need him? Where's Markus?
Oh, God, Markus. I know, I miss Markus. I don't get to be with him today.
By the way, I know everybody, I saw a lot of comments earlier, chat. Was it Michael Stapleton? You were in there smacking the dragon around about the whole TYT thing and HA and Tim Black. I'm going to say it again, and I'm not even going to waste 10 seconds on it. Starting now. Stop acting like children. Unify. It's about survival. Your petty issues mean nothing when we're dead. Moving on. U.S. losing world leadership. Europe can replace it. EU top diplomat Mogherini. I can't be in politics. I'll never be able to pronounce all these people's names. I don't know this. Anyway,
it's too small. I can't see it.
Yeah, I know you can't see it. That woman is right. The United States is no longer the leader in anything other than warmongering and fossil fuels. Yay. Prisons. We're the leader in things that we used to point out in other nations that we said we needed to go save and make democratic, like Germany. We gave them democracy. They took it and made it great. We've taken ours and then we put it down and kicked it under a shelf because we were busy watching television and listening to Wolf Blitzer lie to us about what was going on around the world. That's what we did. Germany was like, wow, we had our asses handed to us in World War II. We feel pretty bad about everything. I think we're going to take this democracy. We're going to work with it. We're going to stay with it. We're going to focus on it. We're not going to forget our history. And we're going to become a great nation. Not saying they're perfect, just saying they're better than us now. They really are. And every fucking ranking in the world, there's another F-bomb, by the way. Every list in the world about something we care about in terms of advanced civilization shows that Germany is ahead of us. We are a failing nation. We are fading, as Neil deGrasse Tyson said. And this is America getting its ass handed to it for being asleep at the wheel. Time to get humbled. And what a great time to take back our party with people who are going to defeat Nancy Pelosi, hopefully with our help. Because Nancy is an old, rusty tool in the shed who no longer knows what her job is as a tool. And when the tools don't know what they're supposed to do anymore and start doing their own thing, when you got a hammer that's trying to be a saw, you got to get that tool out of the shed. That's what we got. Nancy has no idea what her job is anymore. Neither does Dianne Feinstein. When you got a woman in a state and the majority of the state says single payer and she says, no. It's like, well, where's that check from healthcare, Dianne? We've seen it because online we can do those things. I'm not even sure she's aware of that. How do they know I'm taking money? Because welcome to the 21st century, honey. Welcome to the 21st century. And I don't mean that in a mean feminist way. I just mean you're old, you're outdated, you're ignorant. Time to retire, right? Time to retire. That's what happens. You've served the public. Thank you so much. Get out.
Yeah.
Get out.
Yeah, if she and Pelosi could both just go away, that would
Yes, and
create
Chuck.
room for a whole lot of new energy in here, and
yeah.
like Stephen Jaffe and who knows who else.
I see. You said get rid of Pelosi, get rid of Chuck, all of them. There's so many, and it's not. And let's make sure when I say old rusty tool, I'm not just speaking of age, right? Because there are some tools in the shed that are younger that are just corrupt and worthless, never even did the job they were supposed to do in the first place. Hired him as a screwdriver. They turned out to be a saw. You're like, why? Why? I don't want you to do that. That's not what I asked you to do. We got a lot of correcting to do. A lot of correcting to do. Anyway,
they're like tenured professors who just aren't are going by the company line, the establishment Dems, and going by a script that is not really being shared with any of us, and they don't even think we count. It's all decided at that 1% level.
Yes.
Oh, and my scarf's name is Willow, by the way.
Oh, you've got a scarf.
My scarf has now finally, after almost a year, has gotten a name. So.
Wonderful. So what's naming our clothing?
Willow,
it's outstanding.
Willow and Walter.
Nice. Did anyone see that study that said for every 100,000 in donations, it ups the change that a candidate will vote to help you by 13.7%? I didn't quite catch that. No, I did not see that. Show me a picture. What are we talking about? Cory Booker? Cory Booker is a tool. Yeah, young tool. There you go. There's a great example of young tool. But see, he's a tool that still might be interested in doing what we hired him to do, right? Because first he came and he's like, I'm Cory Booker, and I'm going to run for president in 2020 because I'm good looking, and you like me, I'm not pure white. And everybody went, well, all right, Cory Booker. And I'm a Democrat. And everybody went, okay, Cory Booker. And then he said, oh, no, wait. I'm taking money from pharma. Forgot to tell you, that's how I got here. So I'm not going to vote for Bernie Sanders thing, but I'm still running for president. And we went, fuck you. No. And then he went, oh, if I want to run for president and I say that I'll vote on Bernie Sanders' bill, does that still work? Can I still stay? That's what I really want to do. See, Cory Booker changed his mind on that. If we can bend the tool, or if we can work with the tool, that's really all we're asking. Hey, Hammer, I'm going to pick you up and use you because that's why we hired you, is to make you a useful tool. But if you're not going to let me do that, I'm going to put you back and bring another tool into the shop. So Cory Booker may be a tool and I don't trust him either. Muhammad, don't mistake use for trust. Ever. Okay? We cannot trust any of the tools in the shed and still use them, right? And don't get me wrong. I don't mean this in a mean, it's a public servant knows that's their job, right? Like I'm going to go, like I got my official, where do I have it? I have my official card carrying PCP thing. It's really interesting because it really looks like it could have been made 100 years ago, 200 years ago when we started. It's just a little card with some typing from a typewriter on a card, right? And it just says, I'm a PCP. And they're going to tell me what to do. John, you have to take this list. You have to go here. You have to contact these people. That's your job. So if I take the list, light it on fire, and tell them I did it, then I'm not really doing the job. right? That's on me. So I get it. Like I'm a tool in the shed now for Lynn County Democrats. There's nothing.
Oh, I like this. Joseph Swakata says, I want a tool that doesn't argue with what its purpose is.
There you go. There you go.
Perfect.
Yeah. Your job isn't to argue with us, the tool handler, the tool purchaser, right?
Yeah.
We're the customer. Chris Ferguson, is it possible that these leadership failures, Bush, Obama, Trump, are indirect attempts to galvanize voters into political engagement?
That's the result. I don't know if that was the purpose.
Yeah, I doubt it was the purpose. I mean, I would list all the past presidents in the last 40 years as failures, really. I know. Bernie for third party, says Annie F. I like what was it? Melissa H. was saying earlier, Bernie after the midterms, right?
Yeah, maybe. But right now, he needs the vehicle, the Democratic Party, to get all these people through primaries that have to work through the Democratic Party. Those are the people that are going to be going. It's like, okay, Bernie isn't our only candidate here,
right? That
we need to focus on. And everybody's all wanting Bernie to go third party. Well, he will lose immense amount of support on all levels, not to mention the fact that he is an acting member of Congress and has a lot of power in that position. To focus on him solely as the person we want to be running leaves a lot of energy that's not getting focused on new candidates like Stephen Jaffe or the people that we are identifying, like Rob Quist, like the guy in Texas who's going to be running against Lamar Smith.
Yeah.
Those are all people that we need to be focusing on as our future. And Bernie showed us how to do it. One thing Adriel mentioned is like, we need a good, strong ground campaign. It's like, yeah, we had a really good example of what one of those looks like last year, didn't we?
We did. And
we saw a good example of one that didn't work well, which was Hillary's ground game was terrible.
Because it was funded by, no offense, but when her ground game is George Clooney holding a fundraiser,
right?
And Bernie's ground game is us at a barbecue in a park. There's a difference,
Mm-hmm. Or 30,000 people in a stadium versus a white noise machine behind a private residence.
Right. Oh, there were so many good moments. The whole Podesta thing, when he talks about the media being all for Trump, I'm like, do you recall?
He had CNN on speed dial. They would call these guys while they were broadcasting and saying, we don't like what he's saying right now.
Right.
Better not do that again.
It's like you had an entire left-wing media network on your side. They went where the ratings were, and the ratings were with Hillary. They weren't helping Bernie out. We saw that.
Well, and the ratings were with Trump too. I mean,
they were.
But that was the whole clown car. Everybody loves to watch the clowns, right? And we just couldn't believe what he would say next, and pat ourselves in the back and assure ourselves that this wasn't going to go much further. He's going to drop out any day now. He doesn't want this job. He doesn't want to live in the White House.
Well, now we know that's true.
Yeah, we do, right?
We know it's very true, right? People are conjecturing like he's really pissed. He's like, well, shit, now I got to take it, and he hates it. Yeah. He hates it, and we hate him there. What are you guys saying here? Yeah, there was Muhammad. There was a white noise machine. They would
have these fundraisers with rich, just in private houses, and the press would be outside, and you knew that she was assuring them of many things that she didn't want us to know that she was assuring them of, and they had a white noise machine that would blast out so that nobody could eavesdrop on these private fundraisers.
That's exactly what they did. It was the media is. Anytime I see the media trying to defend itself these days, I just want to tell them, fuck you. You've been lying to the American public for 40 plus years. You've been complicit in climate denial, in expanding fossil fuel use, knowing damn well that you're lying to the public. When the Fairness Doctrine was repealed in 1986, you devoided yourselves of any moral or ethical obligation to tell any kind of narrative that had any kind of truth to it, and you used that to your advantage to make money. And in 1996, when the Telecom Act was put into place, you said, now we can really fuck the people and turn the political spectrum into a goddamn Olympics. So any media agency out there today, any journalist sitting behind an MSM counter who thinks they have any kind of a moral high ground needs to remember the last 40 years, shut the fuck up and apologize to the public. We're still waiting for that apology from every single one of you. And you carry on like you've never done anything wrong. And you continue, CNN, to put fucking climate deniers against people like Bill Nye and claim that there's still a discussion to be had. Why don't you just change that one paradigm, that one thing? You have zero integrity. There isn't a single MSM entity that has any integrity, or a single fucking MSM journalist that has any integrity, until one of them stands up and says, I'm no longer going to take my 6-figure salary until I'm allowed to tell the fucking truth. And you'll never see that happen. What? Seven figures. My bad.
Lisa Friedman makes a good point. She said it would not have been wall-to-wall Trump if the Podesta strategy hadn't been to elevate.
Right.
Right?
Geez, John, look at your own emails. This is what you asked for, buddy.
Yeah.
That's what they asked for. Let's make him look as bad as he can. And people are like, he looks better than Hillary. My brother, for all his idiocy, voted for Trump because he said he refused to see Hillary Clinton do the same shit he's watched the Clinton family do again. For some reason, the Democratic Party is completely blind and ignorant to anything Hillary Clinton has ever done other than be for women's rights, they claim. And I don't even know what else. That's about it. She's a vagina, so she has to be for women's rights because she is one. Isn't that the only thing she stands for, really? I don't know what else.
Yeah. First woman president, glass ceiling, all those things, and taking full advantage of that Telecommunications Act that her husband was the one who caused to happen. He set it up. It's a long game. It's a long game.
Yeah, it is. And
really started with Reagan, and it's been going on ever since.
But remember everybody, when we talk about this, this isn't the GOP that put this in place. This is the entire establishment workforce. Democrats and Republicans, and probably independents that were in there that were in on this too. They all made money when they did this.
Mm-hmm.
All right?
Well, it's the military-industrial complex too. It's the common denominator going back even farther than Reagan was Rumsfeld and Cheney.
Yeah. Damn, you froze again. What's going on with the internet over there?
I don't know.
Anyway, all right. Well, hopefully you'll unfreeze. The Bible Belt has gone crazy. I gotta tell you guys a story. First, I gotta say. Well, no. Okay, we can't. So many crazy things. We will get there. All right. First, this is on Fox. This ought to make you happy. All right. Kruthhammer. We will be in a single-payer system within 7 years. This is some Fox News pundit guy talking. And the way he says it, though, what he really says in here is so just ew. It's really, really, he's such a asshole. I want you to understand, Republicans, conservatives, whatever you want to call them, however you lump these people, whatever group of people don't believe in the basic human right of health care in the 21st century, they don't believe that every human being has the right to health care. They really don't. If you can't afford it, fuck you. That is really how they feel. They don't care that the services can be available. They don't care that our military budget is 57% of GDP. They don't care. They don't care. They don't care that we could use those funds. They don't care that the taxpayer wants to use those funds to take care of themselves. They don't care. They don't believe that human beings, all human beings, have a right to health care. They only believe that certain ones, people with enough money. Right? And that level of money is arbitrary to them because they have plenty of money. They don't need the health care they get because we pay for it. They don't give a shit about it, really. That's why they didn't care about writing in the provision that, okay, they can't take away pre-existing conditions if they're not going to. That's why they wrote that in there, that they can't give it to themselves and take it away from the people because they don't use that health care. They don't need the health care we give them. They don't use it. They're all rich fucks. Right? But I want you to hear what this guy, or if you're to read. The terms of the healthcare debate are entirely on the grounds of the liberal argument, that, and here's what they call it, an argument. Again, like climate change, the climate crisis, there's no argument there anymore. It's a fucking fact, but they call it an argument so that they can have one about it, right? The terms of the healthcare debate are entirely on the grounds of the liberal argument. There is no healthcare debate anymore, really, in this country or in the world, really. That everybody ought to have insurance. That's what he claims is the argument, that everybody ought to have it. It's not an argument. We all agree. Civilization pretty much agrees. You're in the minority, rich assholes. You are the minority, the 1%. You're the only ones that don't believe all human beings should have healthcare. And if you wait long enough and piss enough of us off, we're going to come for you, not just vote against you. That's the thing. That's what happens in a revolution. If we can't vote against you, we will just come for you. Right? So it's unbelievable. It says, once that happens, you're going to end up with a single payer, Kruthammer says. It's like, once the liberals convince everybody that you get health care, everybody's going to get health care. Oh, darn. I bet he calls himself a good Christian, too, and goes to church every Sunday and writes a check for Jesus. It's the kind of hypocrisy. Just can't fucking stand it. You know? I'd have more respect for him if he said, I'm an atheist, and I also hate everybody, so that's why I don't care. Not that being an atheist and hating people are anything the same. I just said it would be great if he'd say, I really don't believe in God because I don't follow any of the actual Christian beliefs, and I dislike people. Because that's really what this guy is saying. That's really the message he imparts, right? As he turns around and goes to church. Right? Reagan was the first president to use a teleprompter. Interesting. I wasn't aware of that, Jeffrey Pearson. Fucking healthcare, not just insurance. Right. Yes. They all have Medicare. Yeah. Yes. Yes. He is permanently paralyzed after a diving accident years ago. Who is? What are you guys talking about? Now, this is where I wish I had Lori in here with us. Lori, you still... I see you there. You're muted, though, but I can't see that you're on camera.
I just dropped out and dropped back in again. Can you hear me?
There you are. Yes, we can now.
Okay.
Except I don't have you over here. That's the thing. You're over here. But we can hear you. Can't see you, but we can hear you. So that's good enough. Oh, wait a minute. I can fix that. Hang on. The other... If you guys aren't aware, while I do this show, I'm also the engineer. So sometimes I just stop. Give me a second. I got to do some things here. One of these days, maybe we'll get somebody else to do that. Wouldn't that be cool? And then I wouldn't know what to do. So nice. All right.
You need an intern.
I do. We tried that route. Okay. FCC to investigate. Take appropriate action on Colbert's rant. There's no fascism here. Move along. Don't look for any of that. No censorship going on here. Interesting note about the FCC. First of all, Colbert's rant, big deal. You ever heard of Jimmy Dore? Big deal, Colbert. You know, I mean, you ever heard me go off? I'm not as eloquent as Jimmy, but you know, come on. You know, big deal.
Colbert's not independent.
Right, Colbert's not independent.
He is an entertainer, people. He is a comedian.
Yes.
Who is paid a big fat check to do what he's told.
He gets paid a big fat check, and where are you on? You're on this screen. There you are. Now we got you moving there.
There you go.
He's this whole thing. In my imagination, this whole thing is probably a ratings ploy. Really?
Oh, totally.
He's not doing it for any other reason.
I'm totally cynical about any of this stuff where the media is investigating itself. It's just like, oh, look at that thing, and it's like everybody look. So you're looking at that. Of course, it's a ratings thing.
Yep.
And I heard you guys discussing the other night about about Colbert. It's like we kind of tend to forget, and even Jon Stewart, they did start as comedians, and they have people write what they say for them. And they read what is written for them. Because remember when they had that writer's strike a few years ago? And we had to watch these shows without them having anybody to write scripts for them?
Oh, yeah.
They're pretty dry.
They weren't as good.
Dry.
And Colbert, I remember them saying it. Like, wow, we really miss our writers.
Yeah.
You know?
No little cute skits, no little slideshows and stuff like that. It was... So make no mistake. This is not a free individual being sanctioned. This is... all kinds of shenanigans.
Well, and like you guys are saying, Colbert, it's all, anything you see on MSM is staged, produced, scripted, planned, even the reality TV shows, my wife gets so mad. And I'm like, yeah, they really reproduced that argument well. Right? Or wow, they had to stage that entire thing. Like you do this enough and you can see that they have to set up the conflict. They have to create these things. This is all entertainment television is. We realize that entertainment news is an actual legal term that has been allowed to be used to define anything that any MSM entity says was not the truth because it was entertainment. You cannot sue any MSM for libel, for slander, for anything they say against you, for any story they make up, because they just come back and say it was entertainment news. And that has worked for Fox News for quite some time. They're the ones who invented the term. We do not have news anymore because they're not bound to it since 1986. We have entertainment news because that's what it is. We have entertainment television because that's all it is. Entertainment is all we get. You want real? It might be on YouTube, but even that's being censored left and right. I just don't make big enough splash here for them to give a shit, really. People like Jimmy Dore and others, yes, they're getting censored left and right. So, again, call out to Elon Musk. We got to put up that satellite array because you're eventually going to have your own commercials be censored. Think about that. The United States eventually not even going to allow Musk utilities unless it's building weapons. And I know you might be heading that, so you just, come on, Elon, stay on the good side. Don't go to the dark side. Seriously. Colbert said about the email leak, grow up, it's none of your business, straight out of his mouth, as if Clinton and all don't work for us. Yeah, I know. He shilled. He shilled big time. And, yeah, anyway. Problem is that we have entertainment politics. Alfred Wall Street, yes. We have entertainment politics. That's going to change as more people die, whether it be through climate change or suffering through lack of health care or lack of food or just basic civilization services here in the collapse of the United States of America. And I've got lots of documents on that here. Germerica. This is an actual post. This is great. Welcome to Germerica. Give me a second here. So my first experience with German public health care, and this person is talking about how great it was. All right. The reason I'm showing you this is because it was pushed in Facebook. This person's talking about how they had a great experience with German healthcare as an American, and they use the term expat. Let's remember, everybody, that an expat is a whitewashed, privileged term that Americans came up with to describe themselves instead of using the word immigrant. When an American leaves America and goes choosing to live in another country, that's called immigration, not expatriation or expatriation or whatever the fuck you're going to call it, okay? Right? You didn't denounce your nation and then go over to another one. You just moved somewhere in the world. You're an immigrant. So let's get that clear, immigrants. I know it's
I've mentioned this before. My ex-husband lives in Mexico, and their whole community, they're all expats. It's such a little charming, a bunch of rich white people living in another country, and they don't call themselves immigrants.
No.
And his wife is Canadian, so it's like they're Canadian and American living in Mexico, and it's the expat community there, and they consider themselves doing Mexico a favor by spending their money there.
Aren't they? Isn't Mexico lucky to have those white privileged folk there? That's so nice. That's so nice. And they're also lucky that we allow drilling in the Gulf. Right? They're also lucky that we allow oil to just spill out into the Gulf whenever, really. They're so lucky.
And they can get reasonably priced healthcare there as well, ironically enough.
Actually, yes.
Dental work, surgeries, things like that. They're like, wow.
When I lived in Southern California, we drove to Mexico to get pharmaceuticals.
Yeah.
I didn't have health care at certain points, and pharmaceuticals over there, you get all sorts of great stuff. That's just, what do you need? Here. How much of it? This. How much? This much. Great. And then you watch a dude run out the back, go get it, come back in. In a lab coat. We're sitting the first time we're sitting there at the pharmacia, and I don't even know what we were getting. I know what we were getting. We were getting Ritalin.
Vitamins.
No, we were getting Ritalin for a friend of ours' son, and it was costing them almost $1,000 a month,
Whoa.
and they were broke. And I don't know why or what was going on, but we said, you know what, I have no problem making a trip. We got as much money as we could, and I bought as much fucking Ritalin as I could from Mexico. I think we got that kid like a 6-month supply. And I'd do it over and over and over again. You know, there's a good reason for a tunnel right there. Let's have a pharmacy catapult over Trump's dumbass wall. Bernie ran drugs, too. Remember that? Bernie ran drugs on a bus, Vermont to Canada.
He talked about that on his stump speech. He would take seniors up to Canada to get their prescriptions.
Yep. You telling Trump's your uncle. Good to see you there, Trumps. Did you hear about the doctor with ADD? He had no patience.
We need a badump bump.
I know. Jesse Ventura lives in Baja? Does he really? Interesting. All right. So I didn't finish the Germerica story. So this is a immigrant from America in Germany talking about their fantastic wonderfulness with German healthcare. This was pushed by my ex-wife in Facebook. My ex-wife is an immigrant from America living in Germany, and she's been there for maybe 10 years. She's been there quite some time, all right? And she posted that she had 2 neck surgeries. Now, I wasn't even aware of this. 2 neck surgeries, more than $10,000 each. She didn't pay a dime. Okay.
Wow.
Could you imagine having a neck surgery here? I wouldn't even get to the neck surgery. They'd be like, you're broke, you've got no insurance, your neck's fucked up. Have a nice life. See, I don't even think she's a German citizen. She's there on a work visa. You know? Ritalin is the poor man's cocaine. Yeah. Yes, it is. Governor of Florida, Rick Scott, is making bank off selling the Gulf to oil. Yeah, I know. That's all right. Florida, maybe he'll... Guys just need to keep him on the coast. Eventually he'll drown. He'll go under. Florida's sinking and burning. Just poor guys down there. Mexico has been in some chaos, but that chaos is coming to a head. We haven't even begun to see chaos. We're in a slow... Yeah, I know. Yeah. We're on our... we're a second world nation at this point. We have these like little bubble spots that make us look like first world, but really the bulk of America is in second world status right now. Our infrastructure, our economy, our workforce. It's sad. I never really was a big patriot. I'm more about the globe, but I'm really embarrassed to be an American right now. Geez, I really thought we'd be better by now. I really thought we'd have our shit together and we'd be in space and I'd be flying around and we would have met aliens and all sorts of fun stuff be going on. And no. We're just murdering people for the same resource. Yeah, dang it. Those things exist, but they're coming to be in other countries. That's why I keep telling Markus I got to learn my German. This is just a quick note. Representative Martha McSally, the House unanimously passes the McSally bill striking the AHCA exemptions for members of Congress, as if that's a big deal. None of them use that health insurance, so it doesn't really matter. Rich people don't need the insurance they won't give to the poor that we pay for them to have. Does that make any sense at all? We pay for rich folk to decide that we can't get health care, and we pay their health care costs even though they don't use it because they're so rich they wouldn't want to use it anyway, which is why they don't give a shit about how it works for us, other than it affecting their bottom lines and their stock shares. Here's the guy you're talking about. I will give anything. I will sell everything I own, which is really not much. It's this gear here. Anything to see Lamar Smith be booted out of Texas government. Please, gosh. I can't call on God. Please, gosh. This guy Science nerd. Why can't he just be a scientist? Why can't he just be a science nerd? He's a nerd. That's fine. Hopes to
he's not a scientist. He just believes in science.
I know. It's just, I realize this is a science magazine and they're trying to be cool and all. It's just, this is Mother Jones, not a science magazine, Mother Jones. But anyway, it's just, to me, that's demeaning. It's already like, you're already, yeah. It's the way MSM treats people who have fucking brains. People who use their brains and think are all of a sudden nerds. Like, no. Science nerd hopes to unseat Congress' most detested science denier. We've got to make this happen. We really have to make this happen. This is, what is his name? His name is Derek Crow. He's moving back to Texas. He's going to run against Lamar Smith, who's the moron on the House Space Science and Technology Committee, who doesn't even know what any of those three things are. Right? He's the guy that brought the snowball into Senate to bullshit about global warming. He's that guy. He's the guy that is going to make sure that we don't move forward in any kind of climate change stuff. He's the guy that gets to decide what space and technology stuff we focus on, which is nothing. Because Lamar Smith really doesn't care. He cares about his profits and his shares, and he certainly doesn't give a shit about science, space, or technology. That's who. It wouldn't be great to have a person who actually gives a shit about those things in those roles? And why? Why do we give them the power to choose those roles? I want to rewrite those rules at the state level if they exist. If there's a state technology chair or a state science chair, I don't want my representatives choosing those people. I want that to be a vote by the common people. We're going to pick the one who we think actually has the brains to do that job, not the one who's taking the money in the back end to do that job. Why shouldn't we get to pick that person? Why shouldn't they have to prove why they're even worthy for that job? Lamar Smith should have to run for that office, not be appointed by a bunch of rich fucks. All of these things could happen once we take back the power and upgrade our democracy to a 21st century or even a 20th century fashion. You know? With blockchain and phones, we could do all of this from wherever the fuck we want.
Yep.
Blockchain secures our money in banks. Blockchain secures the rich 1% money all around the world in places we can't see it. Why isn't it good enough for our votes? You know, we got to get a hold of Luke Davis.
The place to vote guy?
Yeah, we got to see what's going on with him and if they're still around.
Yeah. Well, let's see if we can get Derek Crow, the guy who's running against Lamar. Let's see if we can get him for We the People.
Absolutely.
Would you love that?
I do. I want to get him. Thank you. Laura Livengood, by the way, everybody, has been busting ass, functioning as a production assistant, which doesn't sound as incredible as it is. That means she's dealing with booking. She's dealing with coordination. She's dealing with resources. She's dealing with a rundown. She's dealing with all sorts of shit. She's doing the job I hate, which is reaching out and talking to people like Adriel about having people on, and that's what makes this function, having people in a specific role. So thank you, Laura Livengood, very much. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah. So, yeah. And if
it's been officially a year.
Has it really?
It was last May that I first started hanging out with you guys.
Wow. Well, that's so you've earned your scarf name. That's what the year is.
I have. That's it. That's Willow the scarf,
wonderful.
And Walter the sweater.
That's wonderful. Hey, Randy O'Roberts. Adriel says, I did a podcast for a couple years. It's hard. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's they tell everybody what, like today with the train wreck of the start and everything. It's like, I realize it looks like a really poor produced thing, but you have no idea what actually goes into it on the days it even goes well. The days it goes well, I'm like, ooh, that was an Emmy. Nobody will ever see. That was an Emmy. They got 400 views, right? That's basically what it is. It's an Emmy for 400 views. The big events that we do on here, the ones that really make me smile, or when we get Bernie or we get a restream, we get a few thousand, you know. Oh, you guys are great. You guys are so nice.
Aww.
That's the fun part about this. I don't care if there were only 20 people in here, 10, 5, it doesn't matter. As long as we got a family, we're having a conversation.
We got 80 people watching.
80 people? Holy shit. That's a lot of people.
Yeah.
It's a lot of people for this show. Thank you all for being here. Let me make sure I didn't miss some things. I was going to talk about some things. Did I talk about the I had all these things on the card. The ground game. No, we didn't talk about. Okay, where are we at for time? 11:37. We're good. I had to talk about last night's Democratic Party meeting, which every time I've been to 3 now. The first one was like, what's going on? The second one, I said I wanted to be a PCP, and they said, okay. This last one, they gave me my card. So I'm a card-carrying precinct committee person with voting responsibilities. And I had to vote on some things last night. And it was, I mean, okay, so it's 2 hours plus. It's really boring. But there's a lot of stuff that you learn, even in the chaos and the boringness. And when I say boring, I just mean because I'm really eager to get in there and help them produce a better democratic meeting and bring that meeting online so that we can engage the youth, right? They're all over that idea too. It's just a question of how do we get going? How do we prioritize? Blah, blah, blah. The effort that was put in by the people was amazing. The research that they did, the presentations, the knowledge that I got was amazing. And these people worked so hard to get this done. This will blow your mind. 58% of the registered Democrats are listed as like, I don't know what the word is, like undefined or uninterested or something like that. It's because 58% of the Democrats in Lynn County have never been contacted by anybody. The other smaller percent has actually had somebody knock on their door or had something that they responded to, right? And what that says, also, by the way, in Lynn County, which is the county I'm in, it's mostly conservative, all right? And when I say mostly, it's like 60, I think it's 60% at least conservative, and then there's the Democrats. The Republicans is a big chunk, but there's also a chunk of just like undefined whatever, blah, blah, blah. Here's a story about somebody in my county. I'm telling you this because it made me volunteer for another thing, and I hate doing social activities with a whole bunch of people. They just overwhelm me and drive me nuts. That's why I do this here. This guy was a card-carrying Republican for years, lost his job in 2002, ended up becoming a potter. He voted for Obama after reading The Audacity of Hope, switched over. He is interested in becoming a PCP, and this was his PCP letter that was read by Nancy, the chair of the party in our county. And he said, I want to be a PCP. I live in the city of Mills. I think it's Mills, which is somewhere far away in our county. All right. I don't know exactly where it is, but it's far away in our county. So for him to drive into the meeting and this is why I want to do online. For him to drive into the meeting would be a total pain in the ass. Right. He wants to go walk his neighborhood and encourage people to vote, encourage people to become a Democrat, because that's what you do. It's PCP. You go around, talk to registered Democrats and other people in your neighborhood. In his letter, he said, there are at least 8 Confederate flags that I can count hanging out in my neighborhood alone. I don't know where the hell that is, but that's near me in my county that there are 8 Confederate flag flying folk. Say that fast 5 times. That scares the shit out of me. Because Oregon also has a bumper sticker that says Oregonians. We're this weird mix of gun-happy, rural Confederate flag-waving folk and super progressive, ultra-left, liberal, rainbow-happy folk. It's either the most diverse picnic or a bloodbath. You know? It's really unusual. Chem M says those flags are in my neighborhood too. Wow. Yeah. Annie F, this channel through all its incarnations has always been a family. Yes, it has. It has. Thank you.
I like that.
You know. The people for Bernie Sanders made history as a grassroots independent force in support of the official Bernie Sanders campaign, touching supporters over 4 billion times on a budget of 45 grand. Yeah, I know. They did it. But they did it because they rallied the grassroots movement, right? You got to understand, back in the primaries, even though you didn't see it, everybody working in the campaign was also working with outliers that were not officially associated with the campaign, like me, like Tim Black, like Lee Camp, like all of these people. it was very different back then. And there was communication happening between us in Slacks and via emails. But it was very small. It was very short. It was very, we're working towards a goal. We're not trying to create an alliance here or anything that is publicly seen, because they were so worried about any of that connection blowing back in mainstream media. Because they knew that they were pulling everything, all the creative, everything. Guys like me, guys like Tim, right? Sane Progressive, all these, regardless of how we tip with each other and all that stuff, and all the crap that's going on, the unprofessionalism, you got to realize that media movement in grassroots and all of those organizations, grassroots, Black Men for Bernie, remember so many of those different groups, they all worked together behind the scenes in one way or another to make that happen. You just didn't see it on the outside. But I've got so many emails and calls, just amazing stuff that went on. It's the kind of stuff that if we survive, you talk about years later. Really cool shit. I just, that unity that was not publicly shown is the same unity we have to publicly show now with the same groups of people. That's what we're asking them to do. There's no reason to hide, no reason to put up the facade. We're looking at life and death now. Let's show that unity again, folks. That's really what I'm looking for, you know? You guys are talking about Jank and HA and all that back and forth. We don't have the energy for that kind of crap. We just don't. The other insights from last night is that the Democratic Party doesn't know how to communicate. We need to get that communication beyond the old 20th century methods of communication, paper, pencil, and meeting in a room, you know, an overhead projector. Sorry, we're advancing. Not putting anything down, but it's time to up the game. Democratic Party wants to survive. Democratic Party needs to be the more advanced, the more technologically advanced party, right? That is something that the millennials, the youth, and the weird people, Gen Xers like me, can bring to the older individuals within the party. Right? All right, so it was a cool meeting. I'm excited. I signed myself up for this thing on May 9th, right? Which is, I'm not even sure what it is. I'm gonna get some training on something. We're doing some calls, get out the vote. That's what it is. It's somewhere. And then on the 16th, there's a couple things going on, but on the 16th, I may go down to a college. They're doing some kind of a hydrogen fuel thing with recycled materials, and they're talking about it, and I had no idea this was going on. Like, that's cool. Get involved with that. See if we hydrogen power the studio. I don't know. Figure something out. Seizing the memes of production with people for Bernie Sanders. I'm going tomorrow, John, in Toronto. Explain that better, Bev. I don't understand what you're saying there. But good. I'm glad you're going tomorrow in Toronto. Seizing the memes of production with people for Bernie Sanders. Cool. Sounds like you're talking with him, hanging out with. What's going on there? Laura Livengood. HA spends too much time gunning for Hillary. Yes.
I mean, every fifth video, it's the next thing that's going to land her in jail, and he's been doing that now for a year, or more. And it was always, it's imminent. She will be doing this, and she will be going down. It's like, I'm just kidding. I haven't watched him for months. I admit, he's just too many all cap.
I know.
Words in his vocab.
It is. It's yeah. We got 15 minutes left, 14 minutes left.
How are we doing on the card?
Terrible. I totally talked way too much about the wrong stuff. How many of you know who the oatmeal is?
Oh, love the oatmeal.
Okay, so cool. How many of you out there in online land know who the oatmeal is? A very gifted cartoonist, and just amazing. Just tells stories. Reminds me of like the Far Side in terms of like wisdom with humor. You know, a modern version. I have two the oatmeal pieces in here. I've been trying to run at least one of them. What I really want to do is take the images and put them into a video and do the voiceover, but I don't even know. Like, I have so much respect for the guy, Matt Inman, and we used to chat a little bit in Google Plus way back in the day, because that's where I saw him a lot. And it's really, really just amazing guy. I'm going to share this story with you. I'm hoping I can get it done before we move on to some other serious stuff. There's other things we'll talk about. But this blew my mind. He's always educating us in the most awesome way. I did not know this story, and I should when you know who I am and my background. So this is a story. Jeffrey Pearson had oatmeal for breakfast. Do you know who he is, though? On June 18th, 1947. Do this. See if I can do this right. On a Pan Am flight from Calcutta to New York, an engine stopped working, which caused another engine to overheat, which caused a fire, which caused a panic. While the pilot attempted to land the plane, the 25-year-old co-pilot unbuckled himself. He went into the main cabin to help with the passengers. He sat next to a young woman who was alone. He told her it was going to be okay. He told her this as he watched the engine continue to burn. He told her this as he watched it fall from the wing. He told her this as the fuel lines became exposed, fire overtook the aircraft, and the plane pitched downward. He told her this knowing that every single person on that plane was about to die. The plane hit hard, crashing into the Syrian desert. 14 people died instantly. 2 crew members survived, including the co-pilot. And with a pair of broken ribs, he went back into the burning plane, pulled survivors from the wreckage. Eventually, the wind turned and the fire overtook the craft. And so they waited. Morning arrived, but a rescue did not. The co-pilot took charge and formed 2 search parties. The first party went in one direction. The second party, along with the co-pilot, went in the other, wandering into the desert. They eventually found a village which had a radio. A call was made, and the 22 survivors were rescued. As for the co-pilot, the crash changed him. After that, he didn't want to be a co-pilot anymore, or a pilot. He wanted to do something different with his life. He resigned from Pan Am to pursue a career in writing and ultimately television. His name was Gene Roddenberry, and he created Star Trek. This story is not intended as an ode to Roddenberry, although he certainly deserves one. Prior to working in television, he was a decorated World War II pilot, a plane crash investigator, and an LA cop. He survived 3 plane crashes. This story is intended to remind you that our journeys are short. Roddenberry saw life's ephemeral nature lit up against a backdrop of stars. He saw that we are all passengers pitching downward into the night. He saw that we're all helpless. So get up and help somebody. That's just, he's like a 21st century poet, prophet, and he does it in a way that sometimes leaves you breathless and also laughing and crying. It's a very great mix of emotion. Thank you, Matt Inman, for that. There's another one in there that's even more mind-blowing, and I'll let you guys read that on your own. I had no idea, just no idea. 3 plane crashes. That's what an extraordinary man he was. Thank you, Gene, for all that you did for humanity. Never a politician either, right? Did a lot, did so much for humanity that was never really direct. Yeah. I know, Lynn, I never knew that. It's crazy. It's crazy.
The latest oatmeal piece is absolutely incredible.
It is.
By the way, it's very long. You won't believe what I'm about to tell you about the backfire effect.
Yeah.
I'll put a link to it. It's just too long to go through, but it's so many people have sent it to me, so it's one of those things that they know it's good.
Yes,
Yes.
it is. It's incredible. We're running short on time, so I'm going to skip through a couple things that I was going to look at. We'll do that with Katie on Tuesday. It's just a little short video on small towns in France getting all right wing, being weird. Little climate stuff. Jupiter Judy dropping this info about Jupiter, Florida. Erosion, steep drop off at Jupiter Beach Jupiter Beach Park raises safety concern for some. Others ask for patience. I'm not sure how you're going to be patient with climate change. Basically, the erosion is, knocking the beach and just pulling down the sand, heavy rain and the ocean. And as sea level rises, they don't have beautiful beaches anymore. They're just cliffs and stuff. People are complaining about the cliffs. Oh, wah. Your home going to be underwater soon. Might want to worry about that. Just saying. Just saying. Thank you for sharing those things with me. I hope you're far enough inland not to have to worry about climate change. I really do. Really do. One of those small caveats that it's mostly rich 1% that live directly on the coast, right in front of the water as it's rising. So deny all you want, guys. Please. Here's more climate change. Flooding causes estimated 64.5 million crop loss in Arkansas. This is the floods they just had. There's going to be more, right? And then they're going to have a drought because this summer temperatures are going to be off the charts everywhere. 120 in Phoenix. Who knows what we'll see in Arkansas. So they're going to go from flooding, which destroyed their crops, to drought, which will destroy their ability to plant new crops. And this is just Arkansas. Every state that has been devastated by climate change, which is a lot of our states that happen to produce some kind of food crop, there are also a lot of places that happen to deny climate change. So karma's a bitch. But it's going to suck in general for all of America. It's not like, fuck you. It affects me eventually. The price of food that I have to purchase that I can't grow on my own or get from my community is going to go up a lot. Fast. Very soon. Very soon. If it hasn't already started in a neighborhood near you, it will. Find your farmer's market because the prices there are better than what's happening at the grocery store. And you don't have to worry about radiation from Fukushima. You don't have to worry about GMOs. You don't have to worry about pesticides. You don't have to worry about fertilizers. All those great things. Yeah, good question. Are you safe, Jupiter Judy? Just heard that SoCal is getting the last rain they think they will get for a long time. Enjoy it while you got it there, Laura.
I'm actually not in SoCal.
I know, but whatever rain comes up your way, enjoy it while you got it.
Yeah, well, we had so much lovely rain.
You did.
Yeah, but we'll probably be done. I mean, we can go from March to October without a drop easily, and we've had rain, all the way into April. So.
Wow.
Well, 400% of normal. So we.
You can release some of that. You're good. Yeah. Let's just see how it goes. It'll
be interesting when the snow starts melting in the Sierras.
Yeah, that is going to be interesting to see what happens there. Here's this is a great. Was this Phil? Who dropped this to me? I think it was Phil Britton dropped this. Turning point. I'm not sure. What do you do about the oil and gas industry? 60,000 miles of pipe bombs under our communities and homes. And this is back to the Colorado explosion that happened. There's a couple things in this that are shocking. The first one is this map. Do you see this? Do you see all the dots? Everywhere you see a dot, whether it's red or yellow, that's an oil or gas well. And it's kind of hard to see the purple lines, but there's purple lines, which are just the pipelines running directly underneath communities. They don't go around the communities. They're directly underneath the communities. This is what happened to that couple's house. A pipeline blew up one of these gas lines. Here, you can see, I'll draw you. See that? All those purple lines coming from the red, those are those are bombs. Those are bombs. The one that exploded over the house in Firestone, or under the house in Firestone, was just an unregulated line that was supposed to be shut off that nobody bothered to check. It's unbelievable. Here's the interesting thing. a lot of these wells and things are within 170. They're closer than they should be. The rule in Colorado, the law says they should be, that any of this shit should be 500 feet minimum from the burbs, from a home, right? From where your kids play. But, of course, corruption in Colorado with the oil and gas industry says that somebody in there is allowed to just make up a fucking number, which basically means we're going to put our well here because we want to, and put it as close as they want, right? There's wells within 100 yards of homes in this area in Colorado, and that's totally against the regulation. Here's the reason I'm telling you all of this. Firestone, the town, the city, the county, they actually have the power to say no. And I'm not going to get into all the details. Read the article if you're in Firestone. Read the article if you happen to live with gas wells around your home. The laws, at least in Colorado, state that the oil and gas industry nor the commission gets to ultimately decide that they can put a well closer than 500 feet. As long as the citizens stand up and go, no, we're aware you want to do that, we want you to adhere to the 500-foot rule, they're stopped in their tracks. It doesn't even have to be a lawsuit. It doesn't even have to go to court or anything. You just have to be awake. You have to go down to your county office and say, no. That's it. That's it. You imagine? I mean, So there's two dead people. Geez, if I'd known that I had the right to go say, fuck you, move your wells, maybe they wouldn't be dead.
Who's that guy that kept putting in Dutch Sense? The guy who's got the YouTube channel who follows all the earthquake and fracking activity. He collects these maps that just show, in the middle of nowhere everywhere, and you zoom in and all you see just
Dutch Sense. I don't. Yeah.
That's all over the country. Are these little areas that are just pockmarked, and then he tracks all the earthquake activity around them, and it's not a coincidence that they coincide.
Yeah. I mean, if you ever look at that, he's tapped into all the geosensors, and you can see it. Yeah, we've made Swiss cheese of our land. We've poisoned it. We poisoned the air. We poisoned the water. Just makes no sense. Makes no sense. Where are we at? 11:59. Okay, we got this. Okay. The last oatmeal piece we're gonna skip. This is cracking me up though. You guys, there's a hashtag going around that was we were killing it. It was hilarious. Somebody started things Jesus never said. Well, the first thing I would say is there's a whole lot of evidence to suggest that Jesus never existed, because there's really not a lot of evidence to suggest that he did, considering most of the stories written about him written by white men way later, including most of the shit he supposedly said. So things Jesus never said include most of the shit people say Jesus said. Let's just go there. And as somebody who's a former Catholic and knows his shit about religions, yes, I can say these things. I do know. All right? This, though, is how righteous, Christian, conservative, this is how Trump supporters, who are still good Christians, or establishment tools in the shed, rusty old tools like Pelosi. I'm sure Nancy Pelosi calls herself a good Christian, and I'm sure Feinstein is a good Christian, right? Here's what they think. Things Jesus never said. Too funny, the atheist libs think they know what Jesus would say. I think he meant TOO. But this is the helmet of salvation. Put on the helmet of salvation by believing that Jesus Christ died for your sins and rose again. This armor of God from Ephesians 6:10-18. So I want you to understand, there's a book in the Bible that was written by a bunch of white men a long time ago to control other people. It's called Ephesians. And in Ephesians, there's a statement, armor of God. And so this is where that's evolved to. Today, the Christian warrior carries a gleaming sword and a beautiful breastplate, wearing a helmet. It actually looks like something right out of a Japanese anime, tweener game. That's Christian cosplay right there, everybody. Wouldn't it be great if Christians actually did even 1/10 of the shit that comes out of their mouth? that they say they're going to do as good people. That's the illusion, the delusion that Trump's warriors have, or that the Christian right has. That bullshit. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. And if you are a card-carrying Catholic and you're watching this show, great, let's talk. I want to help you. I want to help you. I'm an interventionist for Catholics. Anyway. Bye, Chris Ferguson. Johann, Jesus was Jewish, of the Davidic bloodline. Yeah, I know, you can say he's Jewish. I know, it's all these things. He definitely wasn't white, right? He definitely didn't dress like that. And none of his followers should dress like that, although that would be pretty funny to see walking down the street. It'd be really funny. Melissa H. Actually, I think much of the Bible was not written by a bunch of white men. If you go back far enough, white men translated it wrongly much of the time. Maybe. Mm-hmm. You take the Gnostic scripts, those are still written by people at the time. They may not have been white men. You're right. The translations, the narrative was created by the white men later, the monks. And
the King James Version.
Oh, yeah, that's even, then you're getting even, But monks had a sense of humor, too. And monks had power, the ones that actually did transcriptions. And you can see that the historians have traced, like, oh, this is this guy, right? And like Gary Larson of Farsight, or like in The Oatmeal. Like, they had those guys back then, right? Putting dick jokes into the side binders and stuff. So I'm not kidding. They really, what else are you going to do? You're the cartoonist for the most depressing, oppressive religion ever. Why not do something? Why not entertain? Why not? What?
Randy says you missed the part. You missed the part that, like, Santa, Jesus is whatever color you want.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're right. It's whatever color you want. Wow. All right. We're done with the Jesus talk. We're done with that stuff. We had a really interesting show today. I'm encouraged by what I saw last night at the Democratic Party county meeting in my town. I would love to know what's going on in your town. Tell me. On Twitter, at Bernie2016TV, hashtag Awake with John. Join us Monday for Bernie Sanders, Jimmy Carter at the Carter Center. They're going to stream to Facebook, and we're going to stream to YouTube, just because Facebook won't let them do that. I want to say it as often as I can, just to Facebook. Right? Anyway, so join us for that, whether you join it on Facebook or with us. We'll have a conversation here. The 17th, Stephen Jaffe. Is it Jaffe or Jaff, Laura?
Jaffe, I believe.
Jaffe, okay.
If Adriel's still in there, and make sure I'm saying Adriel's name as well.
Yeah.
If he could, but I think it's Jaffe.
All right.
And he's running for in the 12th district in California against Nancy Pelosi.
Yes, against somebody we really want to get rid of. So let's help. Let's do everything we can to help this man. And
and he's a hardcore Bernie-crat. He was the ones who helped with some of those post-election lawsuits and all that stuff. I mean, he posts lots of notes on his Facebook page, which I'll drop here, that are really clarifying his positions on everything that's going on right now, so that we really know where he stands.
There you go. Thank you. Yes. And I will make sure that I have a good rundown prepared for that. We're going to ask good questions. Laura and I are going to put together a Google form. We're going to send that out to you guys through Twitter, and we're going to ask you to tell us what you'd like to ask Stephen. All right? We'll have I'm going to break this down to like 10 minutes, my questions, 10 minutes, your questions, 10 minutes of overflow and discussion, and it's going to be a half hour of solid interview. We're going to get We the People meet Stephen Jaffe, and Wednesday the 17th, join
It'll
us.
Be 45 minutes.
It'll be 45 minutes, but this is the internet, who cares? If he can stay that long.
It's confirmed, Jaffe. It's confirmed, Jaffe.
Thank you, Adriel. Jaffe. Pre-election lawsuit to protect indie voters for Bernie. Interesting. We're going to talk about that?
Oh, that's right.
Great. Yeah, well, we'll talk to Adriel. We'll find out what they want to talk about. It's a little different the way we do it here. I have no narrative to spin. I don't have a 6-figure or 7-figure salary. My goal is to just find out who Stephen is, make sure he's not full of shit, make sure he's interested in serving the people well. He's a Bernie-crat. That gives me wonderful hope. I know that our values are going to be similar, and that's it. That's what I want to do. Have a good conversation with him, with you, We're going to do that together. We're going to restart We the People because we just need to do this. What I need from you guys is to share this channel, subscribe if you can, be a patron if you can. I've had a lot of people tell me that Patreon sucks. They'd rather have another place. Just make some suggestions. I don't know what to do in that regard, but thank you all so much for your donations, for your volunteering, for everything you've done in social sharing, being a part of this audience. It is what keeps this going. I really appreciate that. 2 years and counting. Thank you, everybody. What are you laughing at? What's going on?
Oh, it's like skip the taffy, donate to Jaffe. That's how you remember.
There you go. Skip the taffy, donate to Jaffe. Thank you. Thank you very much. All right. We're going out with, this is actually great. This is appropriate. I was trying to, you guys know when I do these shows, when I create them, the cover card is usually an inspiration that hits either late at night, the night before, or early in the morning as I'm freaking out because I don't have one yet. That's how the card for today happened. The tune is either an inspiration late at night or early in the morning freaking out because I don't have one. But today, I actually changed tunes. I had one I was going to use, and it didn't feel right. It's one of my favorite ones, Star Sailor, Listen Up. But it's like, it's just not, it doesn't work. I don't like this one. We're going out today with the original Bernie Sanders inspirational song. The first one that I heard and that we played when we were the only one out there really covering Bernie Sanders. Point of note for Cenk Uygur, I know you toured for Bernie, but you weren't there at the beginning. Just want to say that. If you would just openly admit, you know what, I was late to climate change and I was late to the Bernie train. I get it. That's, yeah. When we were the only ones out there broadcasting Bernie Sanders and getting shut down, this song by Tony Tigg was what really kept us fired up and going. This is Feel the Burn. We'll see you guys Tuesday for Awake with John and Markus. Now that just got really loud. Thank you all. Thank you, Laura Livengood.
Thank you, everybody, for being here. My favorite day of the week.
Yes, absolutely. And thank you. We've got like 80 plus. Thank you all for growing this show with us. I really appreciate that. I'm so glad that we're able to build this back up again because it's taken a while. It's taken a while. All right, getting out of here. Feel the burn.
A nation in which the wealthiest people are becoming phenomenally richer, while we have over 40 million people living in poverty. The very least that we can say is that nobody in America goes.
The Pied Piper Bernie Sanders for the middle class. What a GOP wants to put our interests last. He's gonna give it to you raw, no hesitation. With the right ideas to lead this great nation. No handouts, no special interest groups. He don't lie to give votes, he's telling you the truth. And while the media wants to downplay him, he's still gonna fight. Tell him all he ain't playing. Push him for higher wages so we all can feed our families. The only one I know who can conquer this insanity. Of this Wall Street bickering, belittling the poor. Dollar bills, only thing they considering. When people need health care, kids need school. When it comes to politics, Bernie's breaking rules. No attack gets on the competition's needed. He's running on the facts and it's something that we needed. Feel the burn, make him feel the burn. All the way to the White House, feel the burn. Feel the burn, make him feel the burn. Till the haters on the right, they can feel the burn. Feel the burn, make him feel the burn. All the way to the White House, feel the burn. Feel the burn, make him feel the burn. Till the haters on the left, they can feel the burn. See him scared shook, he's a democratic socialist, but they don't even know what it means, they just roll with it. Get over it, check the resume, fighting for civil rights ever since the first day. While other candidates still with their hands out, we do it old school, grassroots stand out. Cause this is our time to have a voice to serve. You fat cats had your chance, now it's our turn. They say he can't win, he's too liberal, way too extreme, too honest and too cynical. They want another robot politician, the same old rhetoric, now they gon' listen. Feel the burn, make them feel the burn. All the way to the White House, feel the burn. Feel the burn, make them feel the burn. Till the haters on the right, they can feel the burn. Feel the burn, make them feel the burn. All the way to the White House, feel the burn. Feel the burn, make them feel the burn. Till the haters on the left, they can feel the burn.
Millions and millions of working people who are working hard but are not making enough money to put bread on the table or to take care of their kids, and that has
they house feel the burn, make them feel the burn, till the haters on the right, they can feel the burn.